Hey everyone, it's Happy Chime Noises, and today we're looking at a master player on EU West who's been playing a ton of Blitzkrank top lane the past few days. And it's not just Blitzkrank top, it's Blitzkrank with Predator top lane, starting boots at level 1 and doing some very weird plays. So we're going to analyse one of his games, see how he manages top lane as Blitzkrank, and see how he's managed to win any games with this pick. Getting into game, Blitzkrank top starting Predator boots, already running straight down mid, he's been spam pinging his team, he wants them to follow him. He must be going for some sort of crazy invade level 1. As you'd probably expect from a Blitzkrank. Can already activate his Predator if he wants to outpace enemies. Doesn't look like he's going to. Just waiting for anyone to overextend. This Kayn is overextending. Can just go for a hook over the wall. Lands it. Kayn doesn't have flash, he's dead. I do not know what the hell this Kayn just did, but that's a free kill for Blitzkrank. Anyone who walks anywhere near this jungle is going to get hooked by this guy, I'm sure. So with that kill, Blitzkrank insta-bases on his way back top lane. Another strategy coming out, he's going to pull the enemy jungler's blue buff over the wall, try and get it to reset, just messing with this guy. Dude, I love this strategy. Oh, it doesn't actually reset, unfortunately. Kayn manages to find it just in time. Such a cool time-wasting strategy. I think that maybe if you pulled it a bit further, you could get it to reset if you aggroed it for a second. It may start to lose its patience, I'm not certain. Good time wasting strategy though, but how does he deal with top lane against a Jax? He has started boots, probably the worst item possible to actually try and lane against anyone. He also has hook, which is completely useless in this lane. Gonna instantly get jumped on by Jax. There is simply nothing he can do in this lane with this setup. Early game is going to be very rough for him. I imagine it's going to be a lot of sitting back, collecting as much XP as he can, getting a small amount of CS. Unlike roaming top laners, this guy hasn't started support items, so he can collect some CS top lane. That's fine. He's not going to lose any of the gold value. Has managed a good freeze just outside his tower. It will push in a second though, but the lane should remain on his side of the map for quite a while, I think. CSing under his tower, wave again freezes just in front of it. Jax has gone for some weird play, so he's actually pretty safe in this top lane. If Jax was still top lane, it would be very easy for him to get ganked. Talon passed the top side, and Blitz is just sitting here with his hook ready underneath his own tower. He's actually got as much CS as Jax does, funnily. Trying to get wave pushed out right now since it's slow pushing. And now is where his game really starts, I guess. Base is level 4, buys his mobility boots, just enough gold to finish those off. Instantly running bot lane. His Jin's not even here, but Blitzkrank is gonna be there before anyone else is. The Kayn with no flash, looking like a pretty juicy target, just gonna walk up and EM so it's a free hook. There's no way for this Kayn to get away. Also exhaust Blitzkrank, just to make it a bit easier to land his hook, as well as make sure he's useful in fights. Almost gets a second. Pretty much nothing Kayn could do in that situation. I'm not certain it's good to take Ignite instead of flash on Kayn. Very risky on a champion that's pretty bad early on, especially against a Blitzkrank. Another kill picked up for Blitz's team. You can see he got a really good push top lane, so Jax actually can't punish this. It's crazy that we've had roaming top laners, but no one has ever thought that Blitzkrank could be useful as someone who moves around the map. He's got a hook, that's all he really needs to make plays. Bases buys Relic Shield, so he's going to be able to get some gold. Looks like he's going to go for a bot lane play, warded though, so he's going to clear some vision. You can see zombie ward, very common on a roaming support pick. Get some extra gold value wherever you're going, be useful for your team. He's managed to find a gap in the vision. Does get a super good hook on Pyke, and that's a kill. Just sneaks around through the fog of war to find that. 4 assists, 6 minutes, going for another one. Oh, that was such a slow juke by Lux, but it did work. Looking like Blitz might be a bit caught out here though. You see, mobility boots really good for going in, really awful for going out. On his way back top lane, not something we usually see support top laners do. Huge wave, he just doesn't want Jax taking 5 plates, I think, and I guess maybe there's nothing to go do on the map. This is a really interesting pick because unlike enchanter top laners, where they're useful late game because they can scale, get some really cheap items, shield their teammates, heal people, that's their job. You have picks like Bard, not quite an enchanter, more similar to Blitzkrank, but he has infinite scale. Blitzkrank's main job for the whole game is only going to be hooking people, making plays for his team. So we definitely should expect him to try and get his team quite far ahead early on and try and win the game through that. I do think Blitzkrank is underrated in almost every elo though for solo queue. I think he's probably better than Nautilus, probably better than Leona, probably better than Thresh, just because he has such a good hook. If he lands one hook on an important target at any point in the game, he can get a kill for his team. Very unlucky timing for Lux. You can see Blitz roaming around, Talon trying to collect as much CS as he can topside. Ooh, Jax cancels an auto attack. This is ideal situation for Blitzkrank's jungler, by the way. Could not get much better than this. Meanwhile, this idiot's still in bot lane, camping, waiting for the enemies to do anything. We got Kayn extending again for another play. I'm not sure who's getting caught out here. Probably everyone. Blitz hook's still up, manages to get Kayn. And they burst him down. First time Tristana's been allowed to do anything in this game since Blitzkrank arrived bot lane, and she should be dead. There it is. It's very annoying playing AD carry against a pick that can pull you out of your tower if you ever overextend even a tiny bit. This is much more aggressive than the enchanted top laners. You can see here, even this guy just being around his tower is in danger. Tristana has walked up a tiny amount in lane to try and push one single wave out, and would you look at that, Predator Blitzkrank sprinting his ass over to cut her off. We actually haven't really seen him use Predator until this point in the game. He really didn't use it early on. One thing about Predator is that if you use it from Fog of War, enemies know exactly when you're going to arrive. If you don't use it, they don't know if you're there or not. It's a bit of a questionable choice for roaming laners, because your whole goal is to be surprising, just like that. If Lux had known that Blitzkrank was about to be here, she would be nowhere near that fight. And Predator can give you away. So we see the top tower has gone down, even got Rift Heralded. Second top tower is going down as well. Pretty much no way for Jax to push past this, as long as Blitzkrank's team plays properly. So it's now about time to start collecting some gold from him. Doesn't matter a huge amount that Blitz lived here, as long as they get this kill. It would be fine either way. And the Ghost and Army, not a great idea. So we see Evan Shroud first. Pretty good for Blitz hooks. Whenever he hooks someone, they take more damage. Catches Lux again. Very immobile pick against Blitz. Gonna struggle to play this game. Let's skip ahead a little bit to team fights, because that's where this pick will show what it can do later on. An engage from the enemy AD carry. Probably not a great idea, but Blitzkrank is there. It honestly wouldn't have been a huge, colossal int if Blitzkrank wasn't around, but at this point you probably should expect him to be, since he's everywhere. Great knockups. Don't really even need to hook that guy. Just good E placement, good silences. You can see in this game, Blitzkrank about 2k gold behind the enemy top laner. Doesn't really matter though, since everyone else on his team has managed to get about a 5,000 gold lead. Jax overextending, a little bit of a problem though. Almost kills his jungler, almost kills him. But since Jax is the only one on the enemy team who can do anything, they managed to collapse on him, finish him off with multiple people. Pretty much nothing Jax can do to solo carry this game. Blitzkrank is definitely a lot better at catching people than something like a Janna or a Yuumi top lane. There's another one on the enemy support. Definitely not something a Janna could do. Blitzkrank's team is on Baron. His Jax is trying to get an advantage while it's happening. Blitz definitely shouldn't be able to hold this tower. He's managing to kite out okay. Oh, he does go down. Unlucky. Not very easy for him to hold side lane. Jax is doing well to get... Wait, he's walking through tower. He's dead. Okay. This guy really struggling in this game. Just dies to tower. Free solo kill for Blitzkrank, if that counts. And free Baron for his team. Since this game is practically over, let's talk about how good this pick is. I think that in terms of playmaking champions, Blitzkrank is one of the best, whatever lane he's played in. I don't think top lane makes him much better. I think if you're playing Blitzkrank support, you're probably reasonably close to just as good. The one thing that you do get from playing Blitz top instead is that your level 1 to 3 in bot lane is very weak. I think quite a lot of your early game, you're quite a weak champion when your hook is down. The only thing you can really do is get a good hook. And so if you're ever taking a 2v2 fight, that's pretty bad for you. You always want to be pulling someone into you, bursting them down. A full-on 2v2 fight is always going to be quite risky for a Blitzkrank. If you compare it to something like a Nautilus, he can always be tanky frontliner, but Blitz is definitely just a hook champion. So being in a different lane does solve that. Top lane, definitely the only other lane it could go. I guess maybe jungle? He's going to struggle a lot to farm though in jungle, so probably would just be a ganking jungler. I think that if you've ever tried a roaming top laner and you were like, I can't really do enough on this pick, it's a bit boring, maybe Blitzkrank's the answer, because he can definitely make enough plays by himself, hooking enemies in. I wonder if you could go for a full AP build as well, just to make it more annoying, since you're snowballing so hard. A Darksteel wouldn't be a bad purchase. With enchanters getting nerfed, Blitzkrank might start to come back into the meta, so it's a pretty good time to try him out. Here are the full runes for Blitzkrank. He's going for the Predator page with like movement speed, roaming secondaries, as much movement speed as you can possibly find. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to see more analysis of off-meta picks, make sure you subscribe. I'll see you next time.